Creation, fall in the garden, Cain and Abel, the flood, Tower of Babel, unification of Upper and Lower Egypt by Pharaoh Menes. The Old Kingdom in Egypt, first and intermediate period in Egypt, Minoan culture, call of Abram, God's covenant with Abraham, Hagar and Ishmael, Sodom and Gomorrah, birth and sacrifice of Isaac, the Middle Kingdom in Egypt, Joseph as a slave, the famine in Egypt, 12 tribes of Israel, second intermediate period in Egypt, Code of Hammurabi, Hyksos invasion in Egypt, early New Kingdom in Egypt, Moses' birth, plagues in Egypt, the Exodus, 10 Commandments, Mycenaean culture, Amenhotep IV and Monotheism, the reign of Tutankhamun, later New Kingdom in Egypt, the Trojan War, Phoenician civilization and the alphabet, the Davidic kingdom, Solomon's reign, Israel divides into 2 kingdoms, Homer and Greek mythology, the Olympics, founding of Rome, Greece colonized and democracy begins, Israel and Judah fall, prophets of God, Roman Republic developed, Persian wars, Pericles and the Peloponnesian War, Greek philosophers, Nehemiah and the Jewish return, Alexander the Great conquers Egypt, architectural advances in Rome, Rome rises to world power, the reign of Julius Caesar, Egypt falls to Rome, the reign of Caesar Augustus, birth of Christ, ministry of John the Baptist, ministry of Christ, crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension of Christ. Rome burns, Nero pursues Christians, destruction of Jerusalem, Pompey burns, split of the Roman Empire, Constantine and the Edict of Milan, the First Council of Nicaea, St. Augustine converts to Christianity, barbarian invasion and the Vikings, St. Jerome completes the Vulgate, the Council of Chalcedon, the end of the Western Roman Empire, St. Benedict and monasticism, Justinian the Great, Muhammad and Islam, Charles Martel, Pepin the Short, and Charlemagne. Alfred the Great, Alfred I on the Holy Roman Empire, the East-West Schism, the feudal system, William the Conqueror and the Bell of Hastings, cathedrals in Europe, the Crusades, St. Francis of Assisi, the Magna Carta, St. Thomas Aquinas, Marco Polo, the 100 Years' War, the Black Death, and Joan of Arc, the Great Papal Schism, John Wycliffe and John Huss, Prince Henry the Navigator, the fall of Constantinople to Muhammad II, Gutenberg prints the Bible, the Renaissance, the Inquisition, Columbus sails to the New World, Martin Luther begins the Reformation, Magellan circumnavigates the earth, Ulrich Zwingli and the Anabaptists, the Act of Supremacy, John Calvin and the Institutes, Cortez, De Soto, De Leon, Cornell, the Spanish explorers, the Council of Trent, John Knox, the Scottish reformer, explorers to the northeast, Cartier, Champlain, and Cabot, Raleigh sells Roanoke, Jamestown, founded in Virginia, the Mayflower lands at Plymouth, Pilgrims build Plymouth Colony, Massachusetts Bay Colony, home of the Puritans, Roger Williams, founder of Rhode Island, Salem witch trials, 13 colonies formed, the First Great Awakening, colonial tradings with England, the French and Indian War, Parliament acts unjustly, the First Continental Congress seeks peace with Britain, the War for Independence begins, the British lose at Bunker Hill, America declares its independence, Washington commands the Continental Army, winter at Valley Forge, Yorktown and the Treaty of Paris, the Constitutional Convention, America's founding fathers, Washington, our first president, the Louisiana Purchase from France, the Lewis and Clark Expedition, the Second Great Awakening, the War of 1812, the Missouri Compromise, the Monroe Doctrine, traveling the Erie Canal, Jacksonian democracy, the Cotton Gin establishes the South, slavery in the South, the Cherokee Trail of Tears, remember the Alamo, westward expansions, the war in Mexico, the 49ers and the California Gold Rush, opening the Oregon Territory, Lincoln, our 16th president, the war between the states, the Battle of Gettysburg, the great generals of the war between the states, the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad, reconstructing the South, black leadership emerges in the South, the age of industry, the Battle of Little Bighorn, cowboys in the West, the Spanish-American War, a president named Teddy, Immigration to America. The Wright brothers and other inventors. The Great World War. The Roaring Twenties. The Great Depression. World War II, the biggest war. Cold War, Korea and Vietnam. The space race. Modern America. Yay! I keep forgetting Spanish.
She did a great job, Mr. Bandity, didn't she?